What's up traders, welcome to Failure to Displace, where we're going to be utilising some ICT concepts to try and ensure that every day is a payday. And in this video we're going to be looking at the Silver Bullet Simplified process to see what opportunities were available for us to try and extract some profits from the market. Today is June the 21st, 2023, and we're going to be looking at the Silver Bullet setup in the London session on the EURUSD Pair. So let's get into the charts. This is a live recording of the session as I started and planned my levels and worked right the way through the session. The key to this session was patience. It was pretty nasty price action with no opportunity to get in for the long bias which I established early on. However, we do get a really nice 2-to-1 trade at the end with a little bit of a reversal. So we'll jump straight into the charts now and see how this played out. So here we are on the 15-minute chart. We're just looking at this. We can see all of our levels. We've just swept sell side liquidity in the gap time between New York and Asia. Closed back in the range, lots of liquidity above us, so I'm getting a bullish bias here because we failed to displace lower and we're now closing higher. On the 1 minute, we can see that closure back inside the range. I'm expecting London high and then consequently the gap time highs higher than us to get taken. So I'm looking for a long position at this point. We're going to be biased to the long side, see if there's any opportunities for us to get in as the session's opened up. One thing to note is we can see that that fair value gap just below us has held price up nicely, so there's a bullish fair value gap that has been holding price up. However, I'm wanting a fair value gap to be created within this session, and so we'll just fast forward now through this price action until we get to something a bit more interesting. So at this point we can see that price is creating some quite impulsive bearish movement, potentially leaving a fair value gap here. It's important that we don't get sucked into trying to trade short here because we've not actually taken any session liquidity highs. So the bias is still bullish at this point. Again, we'll fast forward through this section because not a lot happens. I do have an alert set to trigger once price reaches the liquidity high, so we can potentially look for a reversal. So here the alerts just got triggered. It's just letting me know that the session high has been taken. So now I'm on guard looking for a potential reversal, which we're going to be using the ICT 2022 mentorship model here, which is going to be a break of structure with displacement and then an entry on a fair value gap that will be in a discount area. One thing to note here is there's nothing to get too excited about because we can see price is actually displacing above this high. So this looks very bullish at the moment, doesn't look like the reversal is coming. That fair value gap straight over the high is a good indication that price is still wanting to go higher. At this point here we can see that we've made relative equal highs now with this gap time high between Asia and London. But we haven't taken the high, we've left fair value gaps behind. We haven't taken that gap time high yet, so really we want to see a sweep of that liquidity or a displacement closure back inside this range from the London high before we start taking any trades. So again, it's important just to be patient at this point. We don't want to be jumping into trades, getting stuck on the wrong side of the market. We've still got a lot of buy side liquidity above us, so we need a good confirmation that a short trade is on board. You can see the body there has just respected the high. Again, another signal that we're not closing back in the range. So again, we'll fast forward through price action here. I'm just going to go checking through different charts just to see what's happening on the Dixie and also what's happening on the US 500 as well. See where we're at potentially in other markets and just waiting for something to occur on the EURUSD pair. Being patient essentially. At this point here, obviously we've left a bullish fair value gap, but again, we're not going to get sucked into taking a trade here. We're too close to the upper levels of liquidity, so there is no room for us to take a long trade at this point. So all we can do is sit on our hands and wait. So we can see here we've made a few attempts at the high and failed to displace above the high. We're now retracing strongly back in the range, just broken structure here. And we're going to see if this can leave us a fair value gap, at which point we'll be looking for a retracement into that fair value gap into a discount area off this order block, and also a breaker block that's presented to us there as well. So this is all lining up quite nicely now. Let's see how this plays out. A strong breaker structure there, so we've taken that buy side liquidity, which is the gap time high. I'm going to follow this down now with the fib. We're going to be looking for a retracement back to at least 50%. Fill in the fair value gap, and our entry will be probably within this. We've got a bullish order block here at the optimal trade entry, and this is the breaker block that's created the 50% mark. So this is the last down closed candle before we took the high, and then we broke structure. So an entry at 50% would make sense if this candle closes. I'm going to leave a stop loss just above the high here, so I'm not doing the usual 5 pip stops. I'm going to be quite aggressive on this because if price goes above that high, it's taking liquidity further up, so I want to be out of the trade. And from a trade management point of view, I'm going to play things a little bit differently on this one. So I'm going to take 50% of the trade off at 1-to-1, and then I'm going to leave the runner to go until 2-to-1, I believe. So I'm just trying out this new system. Ultimate target would be the session low, giving just over a 4-hour trade. I won't hold for that long. But I'm going to go with a 2-to-1 on this one. So that wick there has just tapped the 50% retracement level of our fib, so it's just taken us into the trade. I've not been activated on MetaTrader, unfortunately the spread's not taken me in. However, here on TradingView this would be a live trade. See if we can get a deeper retracement back into this fair value gap, touching that breaker block. Touch the 50% or not. So you would effectively be in here. I'm not in on MetaTrader. But as far as TradingView goes, we are now live in the trade. Yep, so that's half off, so risk-free. Risk-free at this point. And then we would go for 2-to-1. That's 2-to-1, so that's the trade closed. Target hit. The ultimate target would be the London low, if you wanted to hold for that long. That's me closed out of the trade. And we'll just fast forward through price action now just to see how this plays out to the end of the session. There we go, so we can see the initial bias, which was to go long because we'd closed back in the range, was correct. Price is going high, it's going to take this liquidity above us, I would guess. So our initial bias was right, there was just no opportunity to get long here to target these. By the time we get up to this point, we're too close to taking this liquidity, so we only had a few pips left. So it didn't give us enough room to really get any profits in. So we were able to catch a quick scalp on a reversal. After taking that liquidity, grabbed us a quick 2-to-1. And now price is pumping up, taking out the liquidity that we originally identified. So I hope that was useful for you. Interesting session. That was all about patience, not rushing into a trade trying to catch something that wasn't there. So FOMO, as it were. We were patient, we waited, we got the 2-to-1 that we were hoping for based on a failure to displace above this high here. And then our ultimate bias, which was a bullish bias because we had failed to displace below this range and had pulled back into back into this range low. We were expecting higher liquidity to get taken, which obviously it is doing now. So nice price action, bit slow during the session. It only really kicked off at the end of the Silver Bullet hour. But again, as I say, patience paid off on this one. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe. Leave any questions down below in the comments section, and I'll see you again soon with another market update for the New York session.